Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle. Once again, it is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on fantastic radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 the Midlands, around the world on the iHeart radio application, and Tiger Nation. Waking up feeling the cheesiest this morning after a 20-13 victory over the Iowa State Cyclones. Lots to digest from that game, including one of the craziest pick six interception returns for Mario Goodrich, including Mario Goodrich's play on the final snap offensively for Iowa State in a weird circumstance that played out there that would lead Clemson to their victory. Wes Goodwin's debut as Clemson's defensive coordinator, officially the debut of Brandon Streeter as Clemson's offensive coordinator, and Dabo Swinney joining an elite group with 15 more games remaining for his 15th season next year, and could become or equal the all-time mark if the Tigers could navigate the schedule and go undefeated and win a national championship. Now, that's a long way off. I get it. Also, the conversations about what happens with DJ Uiagalelei. After nearly a month off, nearly a month to recover, DJ still looked slow, still looked hesitant, made bad reads, was locked in on receivers, and his interception was another inexcusable play. With Cade Klubnik making his way to Tiger Town, could we be in for, and has my opinion changed on, a quarterback battle between those two next year, and the possibility that DJ Uiagalelei, much like Kelly Bryant back in 2018, gets, I guess the terminology would be what, usurped by the young incoming star quarterback out of the Lone Star State, Westlake High School, 5-star Cade Klubnik. So we've got a whole lot to get you here on the program. And again, we'll keep you updated on everything going on in the world of sports as well, but with a high-intensity focus today on your Clemson Tigers and their 20-13 victory in the Cheez-It Bowl. One other programming note, tomorrow is, of course, New Year's Eve. I'll be putting together a best of program, several interviews that we did along the way this past season, and looking forward to rocking and rolling with you again on Monday afternoon. 803-450-0086 text line, phone line. And don't forget that line is anytime. And trust me, Tiger Chuck found that out. He gave us a call last night, literally around 2:58 a.m. Now you say, Swanee, did Tiger Chuck wake you up? Did he disturb your beauty sleep? Well, first off, if you've seen my face, you know I don't need beauty sleep. Top of the mark already. It's kind of like Clemson football over the past couple of years, right? Like, I can only go down. You can't go. I mean, how many of you can honestly say that you get mistaken for being either, say, George Clooney or Brad Pitt on a regular basis? Probably not a whole lot of you. Happens to me all the time. It's part of the reason they've put me in radio. Nonetheless, I will say that those phone lines are always open for you. So make sure you jump in and be a part of the program. I even tweeted out the number earlier today. I want to hear from some of you about your thoughts. And if you squeeze those in, heck, who knows? We might throw them into the mix tomorrow for you as well. But the Clemson Tigers, again, defensively were so strong. And that's where I want to begin, because I think every person that wears orange shaded glasses, drinks orange Kool-Aid, or wears orange underwear deserves an opportunity to say, hey, look, man, it is one brick, but it was a good brick in this house that Clemson put together with Wes Goodwin as the defensive coordinator. And, look, I think and I went back and I watched, I will say I did go back and I watched the game again, every defensive snap again, and there really didn't seem to be a ton of blitzes. And I know that Wes Goodwin had said that was something that he and Brent Venables both were pretty consistent on liking to do. But what I really saw more than anything was the fact that the Tigers were indeed spying to a degree. We told you that Brock Purdy could be a playmaker out of the backfield with the football, and heck, you look at that final play. I think that play was a designed play. If you go watch the final play offensively for Iowa State, where Brock Purdy drops back, he looks to the right. That draws the middle linebacker off to his left side, or to the linebacker's left side, the right side of the field for Purdy. And Purdy gives a pump fake over there to do that, and then immediately tucks the ball down into an open lane for what would have been a first down. Now, because of the heady play of Mario Goodrich, who was named the Cheez-Its MVP, because he, of course, woke up feeling the cheesiest coach. Because of that fact, I think what you look at that play, and then you look at the rest of the game and the scheme that Clemson put together, and you recognize that they understood what Purdy could do with his legs, and they were cautious in their approach to bringing linebackers after him to keep him from being able to flood out of the pocket and pick up big yardage. But if you just took it on the surface, like if you just kind of casually watch that game, you go, man, Clemson really dominated the line of scrimmage, and Clemson really got a lot of pressure on Purdy throughout that ball game. And so much of that was because of some of the twists and some of the slants that they did right at the line of scrimmage early on in that game. There was the tackle, I think it was on the first series, the third down play. I mean, you go back and watch what the defensive line does on that play to gain a leverage advantage against Iowa State. And you think, okay, that's kind of what you saw the rest of the game. That was sort of the MO for Clemson. It was to figure out, kind of like a Rubik's Cube, what they were going to do to control the line of scrimmage and then continue to press forward with that plan and reserve the linebackers. By the way, even minus Balin Spector, and James Skalski, who Spector was out with an injury before the game. We knew that, but then Skalski got hurt in the game. He tried to play through a heel injury. You hate to see his career in that way after 69 games played up in Tiger Town. But to see these young defensive guys, and I was disappointed when Kane Patterson transferred out to go to Vanderbilt. But then when when you really got a chance to see Keith McGuire yesterday and the speed that he plays with, I'm going to tell you something. When you look at Barrett Carter, when you look at Trenton Simpson, when you look at Keith McGuire, and when you look at Vontae Bentley, you've got a good core linebacking group that you can rotate some guys in. I know Malcolm Green occasionally kind of plays in that linebacker role as well, that nickel hybrid. But I mean, just with those four guys alone, and we really didn't know what you were going to see from Keith McGuire. But last night, man, he just flashed to me on the screen with the opportunities that he got. And I know he had the interception and then a fumble giving the ball back. Ultimately, there was a penalty on Clemson anyway on that play, which I kind of disagree with. That was the one where Iowa State threw the ball back to the wide receiver behind the line of scrimmage, and then Barrett Carter quote, rough the passer. I'll be honest. I tend to know, like my nephew refs basketball games, and we would do these things where he would call me up and say, "Oh, Swanee, let me give you this situation and see if you know what happens. Player A inbounds the ball to player C. There's a control foul on defensive player, X before the ball's inbounds. What's the call?" And so I tend to know the rules of the game. I tend to know everything that happens in a ball game. I'll be honest, as far as the majority of the plays that take place, I tend to know. I didn't realize that a quarterback or a player who catches the ball from the quarterback is then treated like the quarterback when it comes down to, quote, roughing the passer. Because if you think about trick plays, and say you've got and you see this a lot, right? You have like a flea flicker that goes wrong, or another play like that where the ball is given to someone else and then given back to the quarterback. Maybe it's a double reverse pass whatever. When that quarterback gets smashed on those plays, I mean, I feel like I've always heard guys say, well, look, at that point, he's like a runner. He's like a runner with the ball. So, I mean, we've created this game where there are so many advantages for the offense. I don't understand how that is roughing the passer. And additionally, I really don't know, and this is where the limits of my conceptual thoughts on this. I know if it's roughing the passer on the quarterback, that ball is Iowa State's. But in that situation where it was a wide receiver, would that ball have been turned over to Iowa State had Clemson not fumbled it? You got me. I mean, the guess is your guess is as good as any at this point. 803-450-0086, text line, phone line. Don't forget, we want to hear from you on the program. Leave us a message. We'll get them in here on the show. I know tomorrow we're going to do a little retrospective, if you will. But if we get a lot of calls, today from you, your thoughts on the Cheez-It Bowl, buddy, we will cheese it up tomorrow early in the show, and then we'll go a little retrospective hour number 2, something like that. I can guarantee you that's what will happen. But we need to hear from you, and not just you, Tiger Chuck. We want to hear from more people. 803-450-0086. Leave us a message. And again, the website, put the .com on it. Doggone it. ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Come support us. We'd love to have you be a part of what we do. Just 17 cents a day to back the show, to back the website. As a Clemson Tiger fan who likes having the show that shakes the Southland in the belly of the beast, come support us. Again, just $63.17 for a year over on our website. That's right, Gamecock Nation. I said it, $63.17. Also, we'll update you on the South Carolina game and how things played out there at the Duke's Mayo Bowl in just a little bit here on the program. But our attention today on the Cheez-It Bowl in Clemson's 26th bowl victory in their history as the Tigers knock off the Cyclones in their first ever matchup. But one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen, one of the strangest plays that I've ever seen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and lean in on this a little bit and say that Mario Goodrich, who was the game's MVP, was involved in 2 of the strangest plays I've ever seen, flat out, to end the ball game essentially, and then to put a game on ice. So after Clemson had scored their first touchdown of the game off of a Will Shipley touchdown run in that ball game last night, Iowa State has a nice kick return. Take the ball out to like the 35, 40-yard line. I mean, kind of feeling like, okay, they got a little momentum, but there's a penalty on that play that backs them up, and they're deep in Clemson territory. And Matt Campbell, head coach of the Cyclones, gets fired up about Clemson's band, apparently, he felt like, playing during the snap or during the play leading up to the snap, communication things. And you could see a coach getting agitated by that. But what ends up happening after that is they end up calling a timeout because they kind of get a little discombobulated, and they come out. Brock Purdy drops back to pass. He looks to his left, throws it. The ball's batted up immediately by Justin Maskell on the defensive front for Clemson. The ball careens back across the field towards Purdy's right. Purdy runs up and tries to do like a volleyball, like spike, I guess. But I wouldn't say he's necessarily undercut, but he certainly had some people underneath him to a degree that wouldn't allow him to really get a good angle on slapping that ball down to the ground. And so instead, he sort of deflects the ball forward and right into the hands of an awaiting Mario Goodrich, who returns it 18 yards for a touchdown. Now, I can't think of a time I've ever seen a play where the ball is tipped up like that across to the quarterback. Now, typically, and I'm thinking when Purdy plays this play back in his mind, he's going to be disappointed that he didn't just catch the ball. I mean, I believe he could have caught the ball, and he probably picks up some yardage. But instead, it's a game-changing play that gives Clemson a 20-3 lead with 4 minutes and 1 second left in the third quarter, and kind of felt like it was putting the icing on the cake, although the Cyclones would fight back because of a bad interception by DJ Uiagalelei. Now, the defense stood up there and gave him 6, but that kind of stole some of Clemson's momentum, gave it back to Iowa State, and allowed the Cyclones to make a ball game out of it, where if Clemson just punts there, I don't know that we even that you even have a possession for Iowa State late, or 2 possessions late, where they can drive down and tie the game. They weren't able to, so it's ifs and buts at this point. Doesn't really matter. But for that ball to be deflected, by Justin Maskell across the field, only to be batted forward by Brock Purdy and then directly into the hands of Mario Goodrich. Man, that was a weird play. I can't say I've ever seen anything like it. But for Clemson, certainly a successful play and an important play in that ball game. Now, on that play, there were some great blocks along the way, including Andrew Booth Jr. And the block that he had. And I want to speak to Booth Jr. because he didn't have to play this game. I mean, this kid's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. I'll be shocked if he's not. But at one point in that game, he was tangled up with a Iowa State wide receiver, number 13. I think it's Jalen Noel is his name, or Noel. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. Anyway, these guys get tangled up, and Noel gets on top of him and looks like he throws a punch. I mean, it looks like a legitimate punch is thrown. And it's kind of underneath, so you don't know if it connected. But after that, Andrew Booth is woozy and gets taken out of the ball game. But I think the thing that made all of that worth it, and you just appreciate Andrew Booth playing, right? But Mario Goodrich, who also maybe could have skipped this game, and it sounds more and more like Mario Goodrich is going to be heading to the NFL. I'd already kind of projected that based off of the fact that he's signed on to play in the Senior Bowl, where you do get paid, but maybe now with NIL deals, maybe that can be a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like maybe you can be allowed to do that. But Mario Goodrich tweeted, "No better way to go out than with confetti flying, fans cheering, band playing. What a season." Maybe that doesn't mean go out forever, but maybe it does. But it was that same Noel kid who has sort of the responsibility on that final offensive play for Iowa State. Another weird one. Brock Purdy, as I mentioned, fakes the ball like he's going to throw it to the right, immediately pulls it down. I think that was a design to draw the linebacker to the opposite side of the field, cuts back for like what's kind of like a QB counter, if you will, into open space, picks up a big first down. And then Mario Goodrich beats Noel, slaps the ball down out of his hand. It bounces backwards behind the yard line to gain, and Purdy recovers it. And because he crossed the line to gain, but then the ball was knocked out and recovered behind the line to gain, what was a first down for Iowa State turned out to be a turnover on downs to give Clemson the ability to come in. And in the ball game, Dabo Swinney got the Cheez-It bath. He called a timeout. A lot of people criticized him. He put in the seniors for as many seniors as he could on that final snap to give them an opportunity to get out there. It's the right thing to do for their hard work. I know people will not like it, but you part of building the culture and a family environment and the things that Clemson wants to do is taking that moment to give people an opportunity who maybe hadn't had an opportunity otherwise. And that's a big deal to Dabo Swinney. It might not be a big deal to you sitting at home on your lazy boy watching, but it's a big deal to Dabo Swinney. Speaking of Dabo Swinney, we'll hear from Swinney, Mario Goodrich, and DJ Uiagalelei coming back here on the show that shakes the Southland. Keep it locked on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and on the iHeart Radio app.
Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
Traffic types this afternoon include I-20 eastbound at the Two Notch Road exit. Also, a broken down car I-20 westbound near the Camden exit.
This report is paid for by NHTSA.
It can happen easily. A few drinks become a few too many.
time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the ultimate once-in-a-lifetime music event, is coming to the CW.
It's been a year and a half.
The biggest superstars in music finally step back on stage.
Let's just have fun and dance and jump around, okay?
Featuring Coldplay, Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, J. Cole, Khalid, Darius Rucker, Cheap Trick, Journey, and more.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
14 acts, one stage, one television network.
Watch tonight and tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Columbia's CW.
Lawton Swan here. And I know in sports, we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Group training is a fun, accountable way to get in shape. I'm Coach Stewart of Dynamic Health and Fitness. Come train with one of our special groups today. We will focus on giving you the support you need to get in shape. We use the Dynamic Mob, featuring intervals of cardio, functional training, and strength training to change your lifestyle to make you healthy. Get started today at any of our locations in Lexington or West Columbia, or call 803-408-4060 or online at dynamichealthclub.com.
How are your carpets after all the festivities and gatherings lately? Not so good? Call the experts at Zero Res to get your home back in shape for the new year. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $109. Schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members, of their families or their children. Asking them to deploy, patrol, stay on watch, on point. Asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
Families affected by disasters urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to those affected by disasters, big and small. Donate to Red Cross Disaster Relief. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
Back at it on a Thursday afternoon, a cheesy Thursday afternoon here as Clemson knocks off Iowa State 20-13 last night. A competitive game, but Clemson controlled it 20-3, giving back 10 points late to make it a tighter game than maybe people would have hoped. Again, Clemson offensively was not spectacular. Defensively, however, Wes Goodwin and Mickey Conn, let's don't forget Mickey Conn's the co-defensive coordinator. I didn't like the fact that ESPN listed Wes Goodwin as the co-defensive coordinator. That's not his role. He is the DC, folks. Don't get it twisted. He is the defensive coordinator. Mickey Conn is the co-defensive coordinator, helping him out. And look, he's calling the plays. And I thought he did a jam-up job. I thought they looked really, really good defensively in this matchup for the most part. A bust here or there. Goodrich even having one of them, but he was still named the MVP after his 2 key plays. But here's Dabo Swinney's opening statement to the media following Clemson's victory over the Cyclones.
First of all, just really appreciate the Cheez-It Bowl, all the people who worked so hard to make this a great experience. We had a blast. We had a great week. That's our 8th bowl win in our last 10 attempts. And, man, the reason is because of how we got good players, but they got to buy into how we prepare. And, man, those guys, they did an amazing job of just getting ready. We had great preparation in Clemson, and we had great preparation down here. And we had a lot of fun, too. And just really proud of the team for getting ready. It was an awesome experience for us. And then congratulations to Iowa State. That's a good football team. They were exactly who they've been all year. You just know it's going to come down to a possession. And, they're a scrappy team. But, man, the credit belongs to our players. I don't know if y'all heard me out there, but, we had 28 scholarship players unavailable tonight. 28. And then 2 more, Booth and Skowski. They're pretty good. They go out. So 30 scholarship players unavailable. And then some pretty good coaches that are no longer with us, and an AD sitting on the beach under an umbrella right now. All right, so that's a lot that's gone on around these guys in the last few weeks. And, man, I just couldn't be more proud of our staff. That's a lot of players. And 9 guys that went in the portal somewhere between September and whenever, and then 19 guys out with injury, or we had 3 guys in COVID protocol. And most of them have been out all year. And for these guys to just continue to hang in there, the coaches continue to hang in there and just find a way, all kind of musical chairs up front. Man, I'm just really proud of this team. And to be sitting here 10-3 after starting 2-2, it's just incredible. And it just speaks to the leadership and the character of the young men in our program, culture of our program, the heart of our coaching staff as well. And the foundation that we have at Clemson. So, man, it was just an amazing experience out there tonight. I appreciate our fans. We had an awesome crowd. It was a great environment. Man, Orlando is amazing. This is a great place, to host a game. So just again, overall awesome game. A lot of big plays in the game. Ebbs and flows, and none bigger than the pick 6 that we had, and a big touchdown by Shipley, and a huge kick by Potter as well. But just proud of the team and the staff for getting it done. And 11 straight years of 10-plus wins there's only a couple other teams in the history that's done that. So that's not easy to do. And that's what we set out to do back in 2009, was to become a consistent winning program. We're not going to win the national championship every year. We're not going to win the league every year. We're not going to the playoff every year. But if we can be a consistent program on and off the field, then we'll have those special moments. And the best thing about this team is all the stuff that they had to deal with this year. And we set a school record. 84 guys made a 3.0 or better. 84 guys, 29 graduates, a bunch of them with master's degrees, 84 guys with a 3.0 or better in the midst of our worst season in a long time. So, man, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and just really proud of a great group of young men.
So there you go, Dabo Swinney talking about all of the right things that make a program into what Clemson's become. Now, Mario Goodrich was named the MVP, and let's not forget, his story and his emergence in what may have been his final game in Tiger Town as well.
Really proud of Mario. I was talking to the team about Mario a week or so ago about this young man, because, he didn't get off to a good start. Kind of like a lot of 18-year-olds, a little immature, not quite as focused, a little distracted. In my office a couple times when he didn't need to be in my office. Got my foot in his rear a few times, and but you don't know what you don't know. And now here he is. First team all conference, had his best semester academically in his entire career, like a 3.46 GPA in the fall. Was voted team captain by his team. Going to the Senior Bowl. That's what is great about coaching, is seeing transformation and seeing young men buy in. He'd have probably been in the portal if the portal had been around back in his sophomore year. But to be up here on this moment with this guy right now, he knows, man, this is a winner. He's equipped. He's equipped. Whoever gets Mario, man, this dude right here, he's a grown man, and he gets it, and he's equipped because of what he's been through and because he hung in there. And, man, I'm just so proud. Nobody deserves it more than this guy. He's been amazing.
Honestly, Tiger Nation, and look, any Gamecocks peeking over the fence, that's what you want to hear about your program when it comes down to the development of the student athletes, the development of the players, and your program building these young men and helping these young men. And what was amazing to watch in that, and by the way, we broadcasted that today. You can find it on our Twitter at Clemson Sports, our Facebook, or our YouTube channel. And very easily, you can get to that channel, by the way, tinyurl.com/Clemson Sports TV, is to watch Mario Goodrich smile when Dabo Swinney mentions that he probably would have been in the portal had it existed. And I think that smile is a glimpse at the fact that, that is the case in Goodrich's mind. But it worked out, and he stayed the course, and now look at him, the MVP of the Cheez-It Bowl. He woke up, folks, feeling the cheesiest. We'll hit a quick break. We'll hear more from Dabo Swinney, Goodrich, and DJ after this.
When a community grows, its hospital should grow too. And that's just what we're doing at Lexington Medical Center. We recently launched the largest hospital expansion project in South Carolina history. Our new 10-story patient tower will help us take better care of patients, including the tiniest infants who need special attention. It will also make room for the growing number of patients who need surgery and intensive care. At Lexington Medical Center, our mission to serve our community never wavers. We're here when you need us today, and we'll be there when you need us tomorrow.
Let me tell you who I trust to protect my home and my family. Modern Exterminating. Hey, it's Lawton Swan, and when you need top quality service from a team that knows what bugs you, call Modern Exterminating, 765-2315. They're locally owned and offer a full complement of pest elimination services, including complete pest control, termite plans, moisture control, and more. Check out Modern Exterminating online at pestfreesc.com or give them a call today, 765-2315. Modern Exterminating. They know what bugs you.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place, just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Man, these South Carolina temps. Keep comfortable with a Wilson'sAir.com weather update. We're looking at a possibility of some showers and thunderstorms as we go throughout this Thursday. Temperatures topping off in the mid-70s. For ABC Columbia, Channel 25, I'm Jonathan O.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Hurry into Mattress Firm's year-end sale. Get a king bed for a queen price or queen bed for a twin price and save up to $500 on select mattresses from Sealy, Serta, Sleepy's, and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying purchase.
Sharing has never meant as much as it does now. We share the things we love most in life for the world to see. But what if we could actually do more with our sharing than just collect likes? What if this sharing could be used to make a difference? Now there's a place where we can put all that sharing to good use. The National MS Society is asking people to make a difference and share what they love with someone else who loves it too. Whether it's surfing, dancing, or whatever is important to you, we've created a place that'll help you get your experience out to the world. If you have a story, share it. If you have a solution, share that too. Join us at wearestrongerthanms.org, because together we are stronger.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Fox Sports Radio 1400, serving Columbia at 1400 and the world on the iHeartRadio app.
Rocking and rolling along with you on a Thursday afternoon. Clemson 20, Iowa State 13. The Tigers win it. 10 wins, 11 straight seasons. Only two other teams. Florida State under Bobby Bowden did it 14 times. Alabama has currently done it 14 times. Clemson has done it 11 times in a row. 10-plus win seasons. They keep it rolling with the Cheez-It Bowl victory. Now, the criticism of this team offensively absolutely has to exist and continue to exist because DJ Uiagalelei has made plays throughout this year that were just let down plays. He had one last night. He did go 21 of 32 for 187 yards, no touchdowns and an interception, which means he'll finish the season with more interceptions than touchdowns as the starter at Clemson. And certainly I think Cade Klubnik's going to press him. I think that more today than I did previously. But in fairness to DJ Uiagalelei, he did have significant injuries at wide receiver this year, especially late in the season. Here's Dabo Swinney. And I'm going to tell you this too, talking about Mario Goodrich. Go watch this video. Again, you can see it over on our YouTube channel or on Twitter where we replayed it for you today. We rebroadcasted it for you today. Go watch Mario Goodrich's reaction to Sweeney's comments on DJ. And maybe it will help change your thinking. If you're like somebody that's down on DJ, maybe watching Goodrich will make you feel better about DJ Uiagalelei. There are things he has to clean up, but I think we all forget he's still a young player, and everybody expected him to be the next Trevor Lawrence, and it hasn't been. Maybe next year will be a breakout year for him with a guy like Cade Klubnik pushing him, or perhaps we'll have a situation, as I mentioned earlier, where you have the young incoming freshman overtake the upperclassmen. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But here you go. Dabo Swinney talking about DJ Uiagalelei, and not just his performance last night, but more so his performance during this tumultuous season.
And again, to see him voted captain, and then DJ, I mean, what he's been through this year going to make him better. In his last 4 or 5 weeks, man, he's been at his best. He hadn't complained one time. 7 scholarship receivers. Who can survive that? Who can survive 7 scholarship receivers out 3 games in a row and just keep finding a way? This guy here, he's got a heart of a champion, unbelievable character, and I'm just really, really proud of him. You know, and we weren't very good around him early in the season, and because of that, his mistakes as a young player were magnified. Every young player, quarterback I've had has had mistakes, but we weren't quite as good as around him as we were those other guys. But his process has been sped up because of that. His process of becoming a leader, his maturation, his toughness, his preparation, his attention, everything. Man, I just am really proud of where he is and how he led and how he never flinched. And, man, he's been in a skillet and a frying pan all season long. And I've been right there with him, and he hadn't flinched. And he's a winner. And just appreciate his leadership. So I want to make sure I said that about these two guys.
Big word from Dabo Swinney there, talking about DJ Uiagalelei. We'll see. I know fans still they just, people don't buy in. People are not buying into DJ. Even I'm still questioning some of the things, obviously, that he's done, which are terrible mistakes. I do wonder how bad his knee is, how banged up his knee is, and if that has something to do with mobility and speed that we see. He does seem a little slow. But, even in that ball game, a couple of times when he kept it, maybe how many times did he carry the football last night? Let me see. I know I remember one for sure. It looks like he had 6 carries in the ball game, but the one where he pulled it, nobody expects you to pull it anymore, DJ. Pull it more. If he pulls it more often, I think it'll open things up for the running backs. Anyway, Mario Goodrich was asked about the lessons he learned in Tiger Town and what he learned from Coach Sweeney during his time there.
It means a lot about our defense. Everyone counted our defense out because they thought Coach V was gone, but we got Wes and Coach Khan, and they know what they're doing. They've been here a while, and everybody just got faith in them. And just to go out there and play our hearts out for them meant a lot to us, and we wanted to just leave it all out on the field for them. And the Coach Sweeney question, it just means a lot. We've been through a lot. I was in his office a couple of times, and I greatly appreciate him and the rest of the coaching staff just pushing me to become a better man on and off the field, and just in my daily life, really.
Sweeney was also asked about what Mario Goodrich's story could say to not only players at Clemson who are thinking about the portal or whatever, but players across the country.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the easy way out, and I can just tell you, if it had been around his sophomore year, he'd have been in it. Ain't no doubt. And he's a perfect example of and not that there's not good, legit reasons from time to time, but he's a perfect example of what happens when you grow through adversity. Adversity is good for us. It makes you depend on God. Makes you dig deeper, and the biggest thing in our program, our goals are to graduate our players, to equip them and develop them as men, to have a good experience and to win a championship. He's the epitome of all those things. He's equipped, he's developed, he's transformed, and then learning to be committed to excellence in everything you do, not just football, not just having your identity in football. Football is so fleeting. It's if he's playing football at 27, he's an old man. This is college football should be about developing men. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I've always been passionate about. That's what I'm going to always be passionate about. And man, this is what coaching is all about to me. Man, he's got an unbelievable family. And they've been pushing on their end, and we're pushing on this end. But at the end of the day, you have to grow, and young people need guidance. Young people need accountability, and but you have to buy into that. And he's special. I mean, he really is. I mean, he went from the bottom of the accountability teams to the top, to being voted by his team as a captain, a permanent captain. That's all you need to know.
803-450-0086 text line, phone line. Be a part of the program as we roll along celebrating Clemson's victory over Iowa State in the Cheez-It Bowl last night. Stay with us.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
If your New Year's resolution is to spend more quality time with your partner, don't let ED get in the way. The professional erectile dysfunction specialists at Peak Performance for Men know that a new year means a new you, and they're ready to help. 90% of male performance issues are caused by old, broken down blood vessels, which affects blood flow. Peak Performance for Men treats this problem using focused linear compression therapy, an FDA-cleared medical device. Our focused linear compression therapy is a scientifically proven, minimally invasive procedure that uses pulsed energy waves to open and repair aging blood vessels. This This increases blood flow, stimulates stem cell growth, and greatly improves male performance. With Peak Performance for Men, there are no medications, no surgery, and no side effects. Over 80% of men who receive the treatment experience long-term improvement. Call now to receive your free consultation and free medical ultrasound at 803-302-8181. Schedule now at 803-302-8181.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I don't know about you, but my car could use a few upgrades. I mean, the 8-inch tear in the driver's seat does have sentimental value since my butt has molded to fit it, but I'm ready to move on. My solution? eBay Motors. They've got all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, from seat covers to whole new seats. When I get that new seat, I think I'll put the old one in the living room, right next to the minivan seats, or as we call it, the sectional. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a nature show host.
In the native habitat of a suburban driveway, the poor victim of a broken windshield is left assessing his vehicle, utterly helpless.
Well, not true. If he's got Geico, he can file a claim online, over the phone, or with his handy mobile app.
But like a lone gazelle, he'll suddenly be left to fend for himself, awaiting his terrible fate.
Nope. Geico will assign him a designated claims team to help him out too.
So the gazelle gets his car fixed and everything. Wow, nature is so cool.
Geico, great service without all the drama.
As 2021 comes to a close, iHeartRadio, get ready to celebrate the year in music. We came here to have a good time at our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Awards, where the iHeartRadio app comes to life. Coming back to Fox March 22nd. Oh man! Live from Los Angeles.
iHeartRadio does their music awards a little bit differently.
Are you guys ready? Where your favorite artists will go home winners.
And the iHeartRadio Music Award goes to
thank you.
Our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
For 60 years now, the Federation Center of the Blind has been making a difference in the lives of visually impaired South Carolinians through its innovative services. You can help them continue their important work by calling 803-254-3777 or emailing nfbsc@sc.rr.com. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app and on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station.
Final segment of hour number one here on the Thursday afternoon. Clemson knocks off Iowa State 20-13 last night to win the Cheez-It Bowl. Dabo Swinney was at the podium along with DJ Uiagalelei and game MVP Mario Goodrich. He was asked about Robbie Caldwell, who got a orange Kool-Aid or what? No, got a Gatorade shower after the game. There had been a lot of speculation that Robbie Caldwell would be coaching his final game at Clemson. He's given a lot to the game, and the expectation is that Thomas Austin is going to move into that role. Here's Swinney talking about that with the media.
But I appreciate y'all you kind of respecting the process with Robbie because, man, he deserves it. But he's coached for – and I wrote his name down right here, so I appreciate you asking about him. And that was a special moment on the field, and we had a special moment in the locker room. You know, he's been coaching 40-something years. He's been leading young people. And, man, I love Robbie Caldwell. He's 68, and, you know, this was his last on-the-field game tonight. And the team has known that. And, again, I'm sure y'all have probably known that. So I appreciate y'all and how y'all handled the process and allowing this to play out the way it has. But, man, he came here in 2011, and has had 11 straight 10-plus win seasons and a couple of national championships and a bunch of ACC championships and a bunch of big wins along the way. But he and I talked about this last year, and, he really wanted to go one more year. And, man, I am so thankful that he did, because there ain't many people that could have handled what we had to handle in that offensive line this year. It took a dang salty, savvy veteran like Robbie Caldwell to be able to hold it together the way we did this year with such chaos up front. And I love him. He and his wife is Nora. The good news is he's not going anywhere. He's going to transition off the field and going to run our high school relations and sophomore transition and working some scouting as well.
So Thomas Austin going to be moving into that role. You also got Tyrone Crowder, who's going to jump into Thomas Austin's old role as an analyst. And then Brandon Thomas, the former Jacksonville Jaguar and former Clemson Tiger offensive lineman, going to be the grad assistant with that group. So a young group now of some recent players that are going to be running the offensive line team. And it's good to know that Robbie Caldwell is still going to be around the program doing some high school relations. Mario Goodrich was asked about Wes Goodwin in his debut.
It means a lot. We had, like Coach Sweeney said, we had 2 weeks of good preparation when we were at Clemson and here. And I just feel like all the guys bought in, and they really respect him and Coach Khan. And they just want to see the next team do better. Like the seniors, we want to leave our all out there and make a statement for the next team that comes in.
Now, for Dabo Swinney, last night's win was his 150th. He's got 15 games remaining to complete his 15th season, which means he could push up to number 2 or even tie Urban Meyer for the best start to a career ever.
I really can't process that, to be honest with you. And I actually forgot what he reminded me after the game, but I can't process that. But, it's not about me. I mean, I got 150 wins because of a bunch of great players, a bunch of great coaches, a bunch of great people. And the good Lord. That's it. I mean, I try to do my part. But I can tell you this, the same, and I got a lot of guys on our staff, former players that were a part of the first win. And it was pretty cool to be here tonight and be a part of the 150th win. That was pretty cool moment. But, the credit goes to the player. This game's about players. It's about players and players buying in. And, man, I'm just incredibly blessed, but I can't even really process that. But the same things that won that first game are the same things that won the game tonight. Same exact things: effort, toughness, physicality, no quit attitude, discipline, belief in self and team, and just uncommon effort. I'm just really thankful. It's really cool to be a part of something like that. But again, I could go on and on and on about all the great players that we've had, all the way back to that very first win, November 1st, 2008 at BC, to where we are right now in 2021. It's been an amazing blessing, amazing journey. And I know good Lord willing, keep the breath in my body, we'll have a lot more to come.
Dabo Swinney there giving his thoughts on 150 victories. 803-450-0086. Don't forget we're on Twitter at Clemson Sports. By the way, we've been talking about Mario Goodrich here earlier today. He did confirm the fact that he is going pro. He put that out on social media in a statement. That's the thing they do now. It's a graphic with the statement on it. It's not necessarily a tweet with the statement. Sometimes it might have a little something. I think Goodrich said it's been real unbelievable experience these past 4 years. I'm forever grateful. Thank you, Clemson Nation. But then his message, his full message says, first of all glory to God. Thank you, God, for giving me the gift of being in the position I am in. The last 4 years have been such an incredible journey. Arriving at Clemson and winning the national championship in my first year is something I will never forget. It was a blessing to be a part of an amazing team win, and being named MVP in my last game with my brothers means the world to me. To my family, my teammates, my coaches, and the fans, thank you for everything. I'm so grateful for your support along this ride. I can't wait to begin the next chapter of my life and start getting ready for the NFL draft. That coming out from Mario Goodrich just a little bit ago. 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. Clemson getting the JOBDONE last night, and now they move on towards the 2022 season, and certainly the quarterback competition between DJ Uiagalelei and Cade Klubnik is going to be all the talk over the next, 8 months or so as we head towards August. Unbelievable what Clemson's done, though. 11 straight 10-plus.
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
Traffic types this afternoon include I-20 eastbound at the Two-Notch Road exit. Also, a broken down car I-20 westbound near the Camden exit.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If New Year calls for more hiring, check out Indeed, the all-in-one hiring platform that makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job post today after visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Let a radio ad from iHeart Ad Builder reach the customers that will make 2022 a successful year for your business. Create a customized ad in just a few clicks and get your commercial on the air at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Reach your 2022 workout goals with Carolina Specialty Fitness. We have the largest selection of ellipticals, treadmills, exercise bikes, home gym systems, and more from premium brands like Life Fitness, Matrix Fitness, Hoist Fitness, and Landice. Carolina Specialty Fitness has shipments arriving daily, so you can find the perfect equipment for you and your budget. Reach your New Year's goals today. Step up your workout game with Carolina Specialty Fitness. Go to carolinaspecialtyfitness.com.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day, the amount of trash produced in the United States increases by an estimated 25%. When discarded, it can produce greenhouse gases that contribute to a changing climate. This year, try using old newspapers for wrapping or opt for reusable options such as a cloth bag instead. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/earth.
There's no shortage of boom at Casey's Fireworks. Casey's is open all year round and has overstocked their shelves with the largest selection ever of tops, whizzers, whistlers. And Casey's has stocked Florida ceiling with boom. And Casey's proudly offers their exclusive noise-free zone. Ring in the new year with wow! Casey's Fireworks, featuring wall-to-wall savings, open all year round, only on Rosewood Drive. Find money-saving coupons online at caseysfireworks.com.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
WCOS Columbia, Fox Sports Radio 1400, an iHeart radio station, available everywhere on our free iHeart Radio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's drive time right here on the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk. Lawton Swan with you again. We've heard a lot from Dabo Sweeney and Mario Goodrich today. Haven't heard a whole lot from DJ Uiagalelei. We'll get to that momentarily. Again, Clemson knocks off Iowa State last night, 20-13. You can be a part of the show. We'd love to hear from you. 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. The text line and the phone line are available 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. So hit us up, leave us a message. We'll get you on the air tomorrow. Going to have a little retrospective edition of the program. Of course, it is New Year's Eve, and so we'll have that. We'll probably have a little bit of commentary on Clemson's win in the Cheez-It Bowl and also the South Carolina Gamecocks today getting the job done in the Duke's Mayo Bowl as they knocked off North Carolina 38-21. And I got to tell you, a good win for South Carolina. They jumped on North Carolina early, got up big, held on late, and were really pretty dominant in that game. And quite frankly, I thought put together a pretty good game plan as DeCarrion Joyner came in and threw a touchdown pass, kind of threw off, I think, North Carolina to a degree. I said earlier in the week, I love that matchup. I love the fact that you've got this game played between the Gamecocks and the Tar Heels up in Charlotte. It's a perfect venue. They should probably, quite frankly, they should probably hook up there more times than they already do. But, yeah, a great win. I will say, though, part of the Duke's Mayo, like I got tired of seeing Cheez-Its last night during the Cheez-It Bowl, right? But the Duke's Mayo Bowl today, it's kind of nauseating to watch. Like I saw a South Carolina Gamecock cheerleader eating spoonfuls of Duke's Mayo. I retweeted a video of Mike Golick Jr. and Anish Sharaf eating mayo, Duke's mayonnaise on an Oreo cookie. Yeah, I know there are hidden gems out there. Look, the Yuva, right, over at Bojangles is a hidden gem if you've never had it. Kind of surprise you. But I gotta say, when it comes down to big scoops of mayonnaise, I don't think I'm for it. And then the mayonnaise bath or shower or whatever you call it. Clearly, they had never dumped mayonnaise on anyone before because first off, it's gross. But the two people that picked a bucket up to go dump it on Shane Beamer had never practiced because clearly mayonnaise doesn't come out of a jar or a bucket as good as Cheez-Its or Gatorade. They hit him in the head. The mayonnaise sort of stuck. So Shane Beamer got mayonnaise bath and apparently maybe a concussion. No, I don't know. I think he'll be all right. He wasn't hit too hard, but half of the mayonnaise ended up behind him on the floor. Come on, Duke's Mayo Bowl. Get your stuff together. How do you not practice that? They did say, it was going to be a watered down mixture because I guess for that exact purpose, maybe next time it'll be a little bit more watered down. I suggest you don't water it down. You just go with just trying to shake the old mayo out full throttle. But yes, South Carolina with an impressive win today against North Carolina, and maybe even a glimpse of what we'll see from the Gamecocks offensively with Spencer Rattler coming in next year to take over the reins at quarterback for Shane Beamer's ball club, which, again, Gamecock Nation, this just into the CST studios. Your coach is a lot like Dabo Sweeney. Swanee continues to believe he will be successful, And I don't know how long it'll be until he finds a way to beat Clemson. I still think the Tigers push it out to about 10 games or more. But the gap is narrowing between these two teams, and a part of that has to do with the fact that Shane Beamer's in town. And I think he'll be competitive in the SEC East, but I also recognize how difficult of a task that is on a regular basis. But I think you got the right guy. And I think that in your history, you've probably, quote unquote, gotten the right guy, maybe 3 times? Maybe some of you can say there were additional times you thought you had the right guy, but clearly Beamer at this stage in his development as a coach, young, energetic, all those things, fits what you need to reinvigorate a program. Steve Spurrier was the right guy. Lou Holtz worked, but he had a couple of bad seasons out of the gate, right? And finally turned it around, or at least one bad year. He was a part of the Ofer season, I think, was his first year. Anyway, forget all that. Forget South Carolina's resume. And then I thought Joe Morris was just, I don't know what happens to Carolina if he doesn't die, honestly. I think you might have seen a little different path for the Gamecocks through the years. 803-450-0086. I know you guys did tune in to hear all about the Gamecocks, but DJ Uyunglele was also on the podium, and the guy running it had to ask if somebody wanted to ask DJ a question, and it turned out the question was about new offensive coordinator Brandon Streeter and what he did or how he helped prepare this team for this Cheez-It Bowl matchup.
Coach Streeter, man, I feel like we had a great week of practice the last 2 weeks, and we didn't skip a beat with Coach Streeter being named offensive coordinator. Hats off to Coach Streeter. He's done an amazing job being offensive coordinator, and I was super excited to have my offensive coordinator he's my quarterback coach and being moved up to the offensive coordinator job. I know he's going to do an amazing job, and we didn't miss a beat. He came in, he's brought energy, and he's done it in his own way. I think that's the biggest thing, that him coming in as a coordinator, coming after someone that leads like Coach Elliott, someone that was an amazing coordinator after all these years that he's been, that you don't want to be compared, or you don't want to just try to just kind of be like that same person. You want to be able to have your own identity, and Coach Streeter's been doing that. So I'm super excited for Coach Streeter as an offensive coordinator, and I'm super excited for him.
DJ was also asked about the topic that Dabo Swinney mentioned earlier, player development, and he was asked about how he feels like he's developed as he heads into the 2022 season.
I felt like going through this season, my word for this year before the season's even started was faith. And, be able to pick that word and just be able to go out through this whole season. After going through this season, I know exactly why God gave me that word. Faith is something that you don't know, you can't see, but you believe it in your heart. So going through it, and I know Jesus put me in this position to be able to go out through the season, put me through these trials, put me through these different struggles and just different challenges. And, I thank him for that. I accepted the challenge, and, he's made me a better person going throughout the season and learning just the different life lessons going through it. It just made me a better person, and I know exactly what he's did for me. So I'm thankful for that.
So a great response from DJ, and I think absolutely what you want to hear, right? Like, yeah, there are mistakes. There are things that he does wrong, and my job is to be critical of him when it happens. My job is to champion his great plays and his great moments, and certainly hearing his answer there is something you need to champion, because that's what you want players to have, right? A faith and a belief in themselves, and certainly with that being his word, the word that he picked at the beginning of the season, and then the trials and tribulations and recognizing his relationship with the Lord. I mean, that's what you want. Like, that's what you really want to hear. Now, look, you guys also want touchdowns, you want execution, and you want all that, right? But I want you to understand that when you have leadership like that, whether it's a guy who's played great or not, this is a building block year for DJ. And again, I think there's going to be a lot of competition between him and Cade Klubnik next season up in Tiger Town. Now, one other thing Dabo Swinney was asked about, and it's a great, like, if you're a father, I think you'll like his response, but he was asked about Will, his oldest son, who just played his final game at Clemson as well. And Dabo Swinney's response, it not only kind of lays out who Will Swinney is, but also gives you a moment to think about the difference in the life that Sweeney had growing up and what his kids have had?
Man, Will, as these guys can tell you, Will loves every bit of it. Like, he loves mat drills. He loves practice. He loves Tiger Walk. He loves, weight room. He loves running in the summer. Like, he loves every ounce, and he has truly squeezed everything out of his experience here. And, the biggest thing is just belief in himself, and just, he's a grinder. He's a grinder. He started, the last 3 games, took 7 scholarship receivers to go down, but he hung in there and he became a starter his last 3 games. Had a huge 3rd down conversion the very first drive to lead us to points. And man, he's a great young man. He's won the Spiritual Leader Award, voted on by his team in his time here. He's won the highest academic award in his time here. He's a great student. What I love most about Will is just, he loves to work. And that's probably, I've said this a few times, like I said this on senior night and I got emotional, but my kids have grown up a lot different than me, a lot different than me. And that was a goal of mine. I want my kids to grow up different than me, but I also worried a little bit about, I guess I would say one of my best accomplishments in life is my kids. They have that same grit, that same work ethic, that same toughness, that same will to just be successful, even though they've grown up different. And I'm proud of that. And so it was a special night, special time. One of the greatest joys of my life has been the last 5 years watching my son just grind and just be a great teammate and do whatever you ask him to do. I've loved every second of it. I think he's stayed healthy. He's never missed a game. He and Spires and Skowski have played in the most games in Clemson football history. He's held for, Tim Barrett have to tell, I can't imagine anybody's held for more points than Will. So I just want him to just take all the lessons that he's learned. I'm so thankful he was able to come and be a part of this program, because it's so much more than just me, the people who pour into these players and shape them and develop them. And I'm so thankful that he got that. And he will use it wisely as he moves forward with his life. And just all these seniors. Let me tell you something. Will's a senior. Clemson is better because these seniors were here. Our program is better because these seniors were here. And tonight they passed the torch. And what an unbelievable job they did in finishing.
Big words from Coach Sweeney. And, I really believe, much like the Venables audio we played yesterday, I really believe that if Sweeney keeps going down that path in that conversation about the differences in his life growing up in his son's, I think he was about to have a moment where he was probably going to break down as a father, because you recognize there's a part of it that is certainly what you've accomplished given the circumstances where he started, but then also when you have the type of money and access and the home that Sweeney has, and the ability to, when his kids start driving, if Dabo Sweeney wants to go buy the best car on the lot for his children, he can. But to try to instill in his kids that work ethic, that level of understanding that you have to put in and pour into anything and everything you do to achieve a high level of success. I mean, that's the thing that a guy like Dabo Sweeney has to fear when it comes down to your children or his children, because it would be very easy for them to say, well, why do I have to work hard? You did, and I'm going to be fine because we've got $50 million in the bank, right? But you want your children to establish their own thing, and Sweeney clearly has done that with his oldest son, Will, and you can hear how proud he is that that's the case. 803-450-0086. Again, 803-450-0086. Last night, also, we didn't even mention this, but last night you also had Oklahoma and head coach at the time, interim head coach Bob Stoops, back in the saddle for the Sooners. They knock off Oregon convincing fashion, 47-32, a big 24-point second quarter for the Sooners. Again, one of their former quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler, going to be in Columbia, but Caleb Williams, the star last night for the Sooners as well. And Stoops passed the torch, so to speak, to Brent Venables. Venables was there at the game. Stoops gave Venables the hat that he was wearing, and now Brent Venables will take over this Oklahoma Sooners program that I think a lot of people next year are going to be talking about during the offseason about being competitive and the potential of hooking up maybe in the college football playoff. Who knows if the Tigers have a good year with Clemson, which would create an interesting dynamic. I think everybody would agree if those two teams were to find a way to get there. They will be two of the teams that will absolutely be discussed as potential members of that top four, and what that could be like if those conversations were to come to fruition, to have the Sooners and the Tigers finding each other in the college football playoff next season. Man, you talk about storylines. Wes Goodwin, again, his first game as Clemson's defensive coordinator, I thought it went about as well as you could expect. They gave up just 66 yards rushing, maybe even more impressively. They gave up just 14 first downs in that ball game and 270 total yards, 204 yards through the air. The Tigers, I mean, look, whether it was perfect or not, third down conversion, 6 of 15, 0 for 1 on fourth down. That fourth down play being the one where Mario Goodrich came up with a big punch out of the football. But Wes Goodwin looked comfortable to me on the sidelines. And he was asked after the game. We'll hear from Wes Goodwin here shortly, but when we come back from break. But Wes Goodwin was asked, whether he was nervous, and he said he wasn't. He wasn't nervous going into the game, and he didn't look it. As a matter of fact, I have been, right, like I have been somebody that has been critical of, not necessarily critical of how Wes Goodwin looks, but critical of like the contrast between Goodwin and Venables. And I said yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, that you can notice the nervousness that he has in front of the media, and you can understand why, because he's never really had to face the camera before. And seeing him on the sidelines, he looked like a natural. He fit the part. Last night, like if you had been questioning Wes Goodwin all along and hearing the great things, we had the interview with Ellis Johnson that we played yesterday, the archived interview with Ellis Johnson, that is fantastic, where he talks about his time with Wes Goodwin, and he gives you all the reasons to like Wes. But when you see him on the sidelines and when you saw him coaching last night, I think you will agree it looked normal. It looked like he was in his spot, in his wheelhouse. And I'll go as far as to say this: at this point in his career, which again as a defensive coordinator is very young, which again as a defensive coordinator, who knows, maybe one brick that we've laid for this house turns out to be a big flop later. But I do think that if this works out, one thing I can say is, like, I talked for years about how I felt like Brent Venables might be a guy who would be a defensive coordinator his whole career. I truly think that about Wes Goodwin at this point. Like, I don't think Wes Goodwin would desire to be a head coach. I don't think he would desire that scrutiny or to be in front of the media. Now, that might change as he gets closer, more and more invested in that aspect of that role. But I think if you want to talk about a guy that's going to be a long-term deal at Clemson, if it works out, man, Wes Goodwin could be it. We'll hit a quick break. We'll come back with more of the show that shakes the Southland here in just a few minutes. Here's how you can be a part of the program. 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. Our website, of course, put the .com on it. Doggone it. ClemsonSportsTalk.com. When we come back, we'll hear from Wes Goodwin, following Clemson's victory over Iowa State last night in his first game as defensive coordinator.
Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Kennecott Way at Woodcote. Also an accident at St. Andrews at Harbison. If you're stuck, use the 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Real credit card questions require real people. Someone who understands your issues and works to resolve them with you. That's why Discover offers helpful, U.S.-based representatives. Available 24/7. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Galliana Kia on Greystone. We don't want your old car. We need your old car. So we'll give you exactly what your old car is worth down to the penny. Plus, we'll buy your car for cash even if you don't buy a car from us.
Give me a 2022 Kia Soul LX with all the options on the double.
Sir, yes, sir. That's right. Galliana Kia on Greystone is taking orders. Some dealers will only sell what they have available. But at Galliana Kia on Greystone, you can order exactly what you want, just how you want it. So if you want to cash out of your old car and get exactly what your car is worth down to the penny, and you want to upgrade to the exact new Kia you want,
you should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Sioux exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Factory orders subject to availability. Expires month end.
By popular demand, Great Southern Homes now lists their coming soon communities online. Whether you're looking for a new home in your hometown, moving to a new town, or just want your pick of choice lots, this is the place to start. Great Southern Homes invites you to put the wow in your new home with options and upgrades. Live green, live smart in your new green smart home. Show your style and personalize your new home with options and upgrades from Great Southern Homes. Find your dream home today, GreatSouthernHomes.com.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place, just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't even bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You can help the Federation Center of the Blind continue its mission of opening more doors to blind South Carolinians. Please call 803-254-3777 or email nfbsc@sc.rr.com. Do it today. Looking for South Carolina's favorite country? You'll find it at 97.5 WCOS.
The show that shakes the Southland on a Thursday, Clemson 20, Iowa State 13 last night in the Cheez-Its Bowl. Game 1 for Wes Goodwin as defensive coordinator. Here's what he had to say after the game.
It was awesome, man. That was an awesome moment. Guys threw us all up in the air, so a lot of fun. That's what we live for.
A little background noise there, but nonetheless, I want you to hear from Wes Goodwin. He was asked about if it was surreal at kickoff.
It was. I mean, it's been like living a dream over the last month, man. Just an unbelievable experience. And can't wait to see what the future holds. But like, I wasn't nervous at all. Just kind of got in my groove and rolled from there. It was a lot of fun. Great operation by everybody, and obviously the players came.
Wes Goodwin, Clemson defensive coordinator. He was also asked about having to wait. Clemson ended up, or the Tigers ended up with the football after Iowa State won the toss. And so Clemson's offense went out and scored, put up 3 points on their first drive. But Goodwin and the defense had to sit over there. Here's what he had to say about that wait.
You want to go out there, have the first opportunity on defense, go set the tone early and whatnot. So just, practice for a couple of weeks, and, you're looking for the big moment, and just a few more minutes that you got to pause and wait. Guys went out there freaking out and got the ball back. So that was an awesome job.
Goodwin was also asked when the butterflies were at the most for him coming into that game.
To be honest, I never was nervous at all. I've been preparing for this moment for a long time, and just kind of, thankfully, I wasn't nervous at all. Just got the flow of the game and started rolling from there.
Wes Goodwin was also asked if there was a moment during the game where he was looking around and caught himself and thought, man, this is fun. This is a blast.
Yeah, I think the whole game, it was, a lot of fun for me. All the situational football that you prepare for, 2-minute situations.
Goodwin was also asked about the fact that they had to play so many young guys at linebacker, but maybe even more so what that says about that group moving forward.
I hate it for Skowski and Spector, man. Those two have been such a tremendous part of this program. But just kind of like the story of Clemson, the last few weeks, the next man up. So everybody got to be prepared for their moment. And it was really cool to see all their hard work over the last few weeks come to fruition and translated into great things on the field.
Final thing from Wes Goodwin again. I know there's some background noise, just a hiss that there's nothing. I tried to do what I could with it. Anyway, Goodwin was asked about if everything went as planned, and I think you're going to love his answer. So did everything go as planned during this ball game against Iowa State?
No, because we gave up 13 points. We were hoping for a shutout or whatever. But, I think for the first time, I think everything went really well and, above my expectations and stuff. It's not like we had preseason scrimmages and stuff, to learn the process, with me being, inserted in the play caller role, just getting in the flow of things, substitution-wise, that sort of thing, just learning where to stand on the sideline, signal to the guys, that sort of deal. So just the whole operation I thought was above my expectations. No 12 men or 10 men on the field, so always worry about that type of stuff. First time roles, but I thought overall our game operation was unbelievable.
So there he is, Wes Goodwin again. He said he thought the overall game operation was unbelievable. 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086, text line, phone line. Again, be a part of the program. Clemson 20, Iowa State 13. Of course, the South Carolina Gamecocks also got a victory today against North Carolina. I thought North Carolina had a little bit of a disappointing start to that ball game. And, for the SEC, hey, got the first SEC victory of the bowl season. The Gamecocks finally helped the SEC break through with that victory. 38-21, the final score up in Charlotte between the Tar Heels and the Gamecocks on a dreary, I think that might be the right terminology for it, a dreary Thursday afternoon. The Gamecocks scored the game's first 18 points to jump out to an 18-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. The touchdown pass of 69 yards from De'Carrion Joyner to Jaheim Bell was the opening score, and then Zeb Nolan came in on the next possession and threw a 66-yard touchdown pass to Jaheim Bell. So, I don't know what you consider good receiving-wise, but 5 receptions, 159 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Bell in the contest. In the second quarter, North Carolina would answer. They scored 10 unanswered points, as a matter of fact, to trim that lead to 18-10. The Gamecocks then scored another touchdown to take a 25-10 lead, and North Carolina got a field goal just before the half to make it 25-13. South Carolina, however, would score off a Kevin Harris touchdown run in the third quarter to make it 32-13. NC State got a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to gain that back, 32-21. And then 2 field goals by Parker White in the fourth quarter were the icing on the cake, or maybe the mayonnaise on the sandwich, if you will, for the Gamecocks. 38-21, the final score in that ball game. South Carolina upsetting the North Carolina Tar Heels, who finished 6-7 on the season. The Gamecocks finished 7-6. And let's not forget, this is a North Carolina team that has done a great job out on the recruiting trail, specifically heads up against Clemson. And with that knowledge, you got to wonder, what are those fans thinking, or excuse me, what are those commits thinking watching that North Carolina team today against South Carolina? 803-450-0086. And again, Clemson 11 consecutive 10-plus win seasons. And some other notes coming out of that ball game for you. We'll give them to you here on the program as we get set to hit a quick break in just a second. But Clemson played in their 7th one-possession game of the season and were 5-2 in those contests, marking the 8th season in which Clemson has played in at least 7 games decided by 8 or fewer points, joining 1958, 76, 77, 80, 85, 2015, and 2016. Clemson running back Will Shipley finished his freshman year with the second most touchdowns of any running back of all time, behind Travis Etienne. He actually passed his coach, C.J. Spiller, with his touchdown run. Will Shipley finished with 18 carries for 61 yards and 5 receptions for 53 yards and a key drop. I mean, he kind of let DJ down a little bit. And I think everybody had flashbacks to the Pitt game, where a key drop by Shipley really hurt the Tigers, but they got away with it last night in the victory. Stay with us.
Our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the ultimate once-in-a-lifetime music event, is coming to the CW.
It's been a year and a half.
The biggest superstars in music finally step back on stage.
Let's just have fun and dance and jump around, okay?
Featuring Coldplay, Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, J. Cole, Khalid, Darius Rucker, Cheap Trick, Journey, and more.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
14 acts, 1 stage, 1 television network.
Watch tonight and tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Columbia's CW.
Let a radio ad from iHeart Ad Builder reach the customers that will make 2022 a successful year for your business. Create a customized ad in just a few clicks and get your commercial on the air at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Let me tell you about the fine folks over at Dental Dentistry of Lexington. Dr. Bennett Hammett and Dr. Rick Jackson can take care of all your dental needs. With TVs and headphones in every room, digital x-rays done in a flash, you can relax while their wonderful staff takes care of all your dental needs. 803-957-2297. Tell them you heard about them right here on the show that shakes the Southland and get $50 off your first visit. That's General Dentistry of Lexington, located at 109 Timber Mill Drive, right off of Highway 1.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick, and here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
It is close in the NFL MVP race. The reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers, is first in passer rating, first in touchdown to interception ratio, and the Packers have the best record in the NFL right now. Tom Brady still leads the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns. The Colts running back Jonathan Taylor is leading the league in rushing yards and touchdowns. What a race it is. I'm Chris Collinsworth.
Daring, safe, stylish, sporty. The 2021 sedan family checks everything except inside the box. Check out the one-of-a-kind vehicles at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer, or learn more at MBUSA.com.
As 2021 comes to a close,
iHeartRadio,
get ready to celebrate the year in music.
We came here to have a good time
At our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
where the iHeartRadio app comes to life.
Coming back to Fox March 22nd.
Oh, man.
Live from Los Angeles.
iHeartRadio does their music awards a little bit differently.
Are you guys ready? Where your favorite artists will go home winners.
And the iHeartRadio Music Award goes to
Thank you.
Our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Cutting-edge Braille instruction, both in-house and virtual computer training, educational workshops, job coaching. These are just some of the critical services offered by the Federation Center of the Blind, which is affiliated with the National Federation of the Blind of South Carolina. This year, we're observing our 60th anniversary. We invite you to join us by calling 803-254-3777 or emailing nfbsc@sc.rr.com. It's sports radio done only the way Fox can do it.
Always something to talk about. There's always controversy. And
You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400.
The show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk on a Thursday. Clemson off of the heels of their victory over Iowa State. Programming note tomorrow, New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, we will be on the air. We'll run a little retrospective and possibly have some of your calls if you want to give us a buzz over the next, 16, 18 hours, whatever it is. You can, 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. We'd love to hear from you. And speaking of which, we did get a call from Tiger Chuck late last night. Here's what Tiger Chuck had to say about Clemson's victory over Iowa State.
Hey, Lawton, this Tiger Chuck, man. Well, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm feeling pretty good, but still try to be as realistic as possible so I don't have to work in the morning. So that's why I'm still up late, brother. But I got 2 jobs now. But offensively, as far as play calling goes, that definitely seems to be the first thing that fans want to talk about is play calling on both sides of the ball. I really was impressed with Brandon Streeter's play calling and also his situational play calling when it came to 3rd downs, the end of the game there, whenever the Iowa State cut into a 7-point game. I still like the way Brandon called the game. It's hard to really expand things when you have a quarterback that can't hit simple throws. We had a screen pass set up with Joseph Ngata that was going to go for a big gain, and he just throws it pretty much at his kneecaps. That's just one of many. But basically, just offensively, I mean, it is what it is. I felt like it was kind of the same thing we've seen. We didn't score as many points because Iowa State's defense is probably more formidable than South Carolina and Wake Forest. But defensively, I will say this: I was surprised by the lack of blitzing. We didn't blitz much, but having said that, Wes Goodwin may have seen a pregame plan where he thought our defensive line could get after it enough to where we could drop 7 into coverage, or sometimes 8 if we send 3 into coverage, and defend the pass well there. There were a couple times where you have Purdy. I mean, and really just 2 there where Purdy was able to kind of step up and gain yards. It was 3 times. It was 3 times there because the 3rd time was actually the last play of the game before Mario Goodrich forced the fumble. But that was the 3rd time where he was able to step up and kind of find some running room, which we're not used to because usually Trenton Simpson's right there just telling you no, sir. But I'm sorry I'm stuttering because I'm feeling pretty good there, Swanee. But yeah, I mean, just impressed, man. I mean, this is 10 wins again, and it's just very impressive. The culture, I mean, all of our guys playing. I've already heard people talking about, it was a close game. Well, what if Breece Hall would have played? Well, I'm not going to feel bad that Breece Hall decided to sit out because when James Muskowski got hurt and went down, Iowa State would have been looking maybe a little bit better with him in the game. But how am I supposed to sit there and say, well, what if? I mean, no. Look, the wimp ass didn't want to play the game. So that's on them. That's on them for having. Look, Matt Campbell has a good culture in quotes, but yet he's got players sitting out. Okay, no. Like you're Iowa State. who are you to have players sit out against Clemson, one of the best brands in college football? Like, I mean, you want to beat Clemson. You don't want to sit out. Are you kidding me?
Again, Tiger Chuck, I'll say this. It is tough to, make that argument, right? Like, and eventually I'm sure Clemson will have somebody sit out, but the bowl season either means something or it doesn't, right? And for the SEC and for some South Carolina fans, well, not necessarily fans, some people I know, when the SEC was 0 for 4, the thought process was, all these games, they don't take it seriously. But then when South Carolina wins, it's, hey, that's a great bowl win. And look, that is why being for a conference or rooting for a conference is not a healthy spot to be in. Root for your team and what they do. Clemson won, and it is what it is. And if South Carolina lost today and the SEC went to 0-5, it is what it is. But you can't sit there at 0-4 or possibly 0-5 or whatever and go, yep, that proves, our league is still the strongest league. We're just, we don't buy into the bowl games, or we got players sitting out. Like, you can't have it both ways. When the SEC is dominant in that same capacity during the postseason, you can't flex your muscles and go, look at what we did in the postseason. If when you're not dominant in the postseason, you can't look in the mirror and go, well, you know what? Maybe we had a bad year. I mean, to me, and again, I and you can look at it as a league, but you shouldn't defend your league because of it. Like, that's the thing. 803-450-0086 text line, phone line. Again, be a part of the program anytime, any place, anywhere. Always good to hang out with you. Love the fact that we are rocking and rolling with the video feed. Can't wait to get it back live with live video and the lights in the studio. I was talking to my man John yesterday again about it. It's not a dream. We've done it before, but then we had to go to a 10-second delay, and we have a delay, but we have to have one on my end too. And that, it's just a whole lot. And so you say, Swanee, you've been talking about it for a while. I know, but it's complicated. And then here, you don't know the toughest part, in my opinion. The toughest part of the whole thing is that I have to do the show, okay, with a clock in front of me that I have to subtract in my brain 10 seconds so that everything matches up. There were people that I worked with before in this business that couldn't hit their segments. They couldn't get out on time. And it can be, you look, it's not as easy as you might think. And in this show, I might not do it perfectly because these segments get put into the system. And so I can't really control some of the length of some things. But anyway, long story short for you, I'm going to have to build in my brain an additional 10-second break, if you will, or 10-second delay. To get out on time so that I hit the stops once we go back live. That is also a challenge that I will be facing once we pull that off. So I can't wait to get it done. I'm excited about it. Hopefully going to get it rolling next week with the new year. Tomorrow's show will be a lot of best of edition of interviews and things like that. We may even rerun because it was so good, that interview with Ellis Johnson. Love that interview. But we'll be back with more of the show that shakes the Southland. Final segment of the day right after this.
If you suffer from erectile dysfunction, or ED, we know what your New Year's resolution is. Peak Performance for Men knows that 90% of ED cases are caused by old, broken-down blood vessels. Medication may offer a temporary cure for the symptom, but Peak Performance for Men uses focused linear compression therapy to treat the cause. Focused linear compression therapy is a scientifically proven, non-invasive treatment that uses pulsed energy waves to open and repair aging blood vessels, increasing blood flow and stimulating stem cell growth, which in turn improves sexual performance. There's no drugs, pumps, needles, surgery, or pain, so there's no side effects or downtime. Over 80% of men who receive the treatment have long-term improvement in male performance, which means Peak Performance for Men can make that New Year's resolution come true. Let the experts help you today. They're offering a free consultation and ultrasound, so why wait? Call 803-302-8181 or visit peakperformanceformen.com.
Way back when, Colombia was a vast dining desert, a wasteland for fast, fresh, authentic Southwestern food. Weren't nothing bundled up nice and warm in a tortilla. Colombia needed Diablos. Southwestern the way you want it. The real deal, with no shortcuts in quality and served up as fast and fresh as you want it. Diablo Southwest Grill, Sunset Boulevard in Lexington. DiabloSouthwestGrill.com.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Major key alert, don't ever play yourself. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com.
Stay focused. Now that's a major key alert.
Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app. And on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Final segment on a dreary and getting even more dreary as we speak Thursday afternoon. But while it may be dreary, it is not nearly as dreary as it is cheesy for the Clemson Tiger faithful out there as they bring home the Cheez-It Bowl and move into the offseason. Of course, we'll have plenty of Clemson basketball coverage for you, baseball coverage. We do it all here. And as a matter of fact, I was talking with a buddy of mine the other day, and he said, man, one of the things that I really like about the show is when you get out of football season and you kind of open up your palate. You kind of open up and start talking a little bit about, the NBA and everything going on in the world. And so that's what we like to do here. Just kind of keep it real for you. 803-450-0086. Again, text line, phone line, 803-450-0086. So I just think from the standpoint of Clemson football moving into this off season, I think there should be a level of excitement with Wes Goodwin and Mickey Kahn taking over that defense and Goodwin being the play caller on the sideline. Again, I said it yesterday, whether it was a good performance last night or not, one brick didn't make a house, but I think you should be excited because there is opportunity there for this team defensively moving forward. And I really liked his response to, did everything kind of go your way? He said, no, man, we gave up 13 points. I like a coach who that's his mindset. Like he wants to get the shutout. And that is eerily similar to, I think, what Brent Venables also desired, but the realization of how difficult that is something that I think both of those guys understand. From the standpoint of the offense, and look, but back to the defense real quick. The defensive line, you've got some behemoths that are still going to be there. The linebacking core, you saw some of that youth last night. Secondary, Andrew Booth and now Goodrich are going to be gone. So you got some things to clean up and bring. I think Nate Wiggins has got to have an opportunity, and Sheridan Jones. You got some guys there. You got pieces. Tyler Venables is staying, so he'll be at the safety spot, and he's I think a better prospect than most people imagine. Defensively, you should be buttoned up when it comes down to talent next year. Conversely, on the offensive side of the ball, if you can stay healthy, and that was the thing that Clemson dealt with this entire season, is the lack of depth offensively, especially at wide receiver. So much so, as Sweeney mentioned, his son Will had to start the final 3 games of his collegiate career. Will Sweeney, who it was a commodity. It was not a commodity. What do you call it? Kind of like a sideshow deal, right? When he came in the game and he'd score a touchdown, and you think, well, Dabo did that one for his wife. Keep mama happy. If mama's happy, everybody's happy. And mama's happy when her sons are scoring touchdowns at the collegiate level. Well, here he is. He had to play like the starter. He had to be like a guy that you had to count on in the final 3 games of the season, including a bowl game. That tells you everything you need to know about depth, the transfer portal, and everything Clemson dealt with this year. I love the running backs. Pace, Shipley, Maffa, you're good there. And listen, in all of this, I'm not even talking about anybody that's coming in as a true freshman or anybody that we really haven't seen yet. I just think that the core group of running backs that you've got is a good unit. Wideouts, if you're healthy, you should be great. I like that both Collins boys. I love Ngata. And Ngata's probably got the most prototypical frame of a wide receiver that you've seen at Clemson since maybe Mike Williams. But he can't stay healthy. Tight ends, Davis Allen coming along, Jake Brenningstool coming along. We'll see what happens with that group moving forward. And then the offensive line going to be growing up, right? And there were times last night in that game, you think about Will Putnam's dumb penalty. It's just a dumb penalty. Like, that's a penalty where when you come off of the sidelines, he comes in about 10 seconds too late. Literally, that's what. And then don't watch. They show you a couple of views, but don't go back and rewatch it and just spot him the whole play. You'll really know how dumb that play was. And then you had the situation on Will Shipley's big run where you had a hold on, I think it was McFadden. You clean up a little some things offensively, and there's a couple of big plays there, and that game's probably not close late. Clemson's probably up 27, maybe 30. Maybe they have 27 or 30 points, something like that. So, let's not forget about the fact that the ball game that took place still featured this Clemson team stumping their toe. Still featured this Clemson team shooting themselves in the foot a little bit offensively. And I'm not saying that's been the norm by any means, but that has been something that they've been apt to do, and hopefully with some maturity, you'll see those things go away. I wonder with the new offensive line coach, Thomas Austin, what not necessarily changes you'll see there, but the development and how that rolls along with Coach Caldwell in another role. I do think the youthful exuberance, of being on the road as a recruiter would be something that would be difficult as you got older. And so having some younger guys take over that role, I think that'll help. I do think that'll help Clemson on the recruiting trail. That's the toughest part, I guarantee you. When you start to get older as a coach, the time it takes to recruit. All right, we got to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with a little retrospective edition of the program. Until then, as always, make sure you head to the website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com.
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Y'all take care
on
now.
Columbia's home
Hey, go
of
Tigers.
sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic. Sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive. Home of the best tire prices in Columbia. Guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Kennecott Way at Woodcote. Also an accident, St. Andrews at Harbison. If you're stuck, use the 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need new hires in the new year? You need Indeed to help find your next hire. When you sponsor a post, you get a list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
How are your carpets after all the festivities and gatherings lately? Not so good? Call the experts at Zero Res to get your home back in shape for the new year. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $109. Schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
There's no shortage of boom at Casey's Fireworks. Casey's is open all year round and has overstocked their shelves with the largest selection ever of tops, whizzers, whistlers. And Casey's has stocked floor to ceiling with boom. And Casey's proudly offers their exclusive noise-free zone. Ring in the new year with wow. Casey's Fireworks, featuring wall-to-wall savings, open all year round, only on Rosewood Drive. Find money-saving coupons online at Casey'sFireworks.com.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
All right. I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Where to be found? Batteries?
Dead.
Great. Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
No. What about blankets?
We have an old towel.
Good enough. Cell phones?
May not work.
Emergency water?
Not a drop.
And what about food?
Nope.
Perfect. We all know where we're meeting if we're separated, yeah?
The library. Aunt Joan's house. The bus stop.
Great. And I'll be waiting here wondering where you all are. Sounds like we don't have a plan. Who's up for mini golf?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Job coaching, computer and technology training, Braille instruction, educational workshops, mentoring, social networking, and recreational camps. These are just some of the far-reaching services offered by the National Federation of the Blind of South Carolina.
We promote the economic and social welfare of the blind while helping them live the lives they want. To find out more about us, call 803-254-3777 or visit www.nfbofsc.org.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Fox Sports Radio 1400, WCOS Columbia. Available everywhere you go with the iHeartRadio app. And now #1 for podcasting, an iHeartRadio station.